You ever get excited about making your own jerky or dried fruit, only to end up with chewy edges, brittle centers, and a kitchen that smells like burnt plastic for hours? Or maybe you tried dehydrating a batch of sweet potatoes for your dog, and half of them came out soggy while the rest turned into crunchy rocks. Let's be real, most budget dehydrators just don't deliver. They're loud, slow, and uneven. And if you've ever owned one, you know the frustration of rotating trays every hour just to get a halfway decent result. That's why today we're diving into the COSORI Food Dehydrator, a stainless steel 6-tray machine that's actually bigger than most 7-tray units. With a 600-watt motor and rear-mounted airflow, it promises to dry your food faster, more evenly, and way more quietly than the typical plastic models cluttering the market. At around $135, this isn't just about saving money, it's about taking control of what you and your family eat. Whether you're into clean, preservative-free jerky, healthy snacks for the grandkids, or homemade treats for your pup, this machine claims to do it all without taking over your counter or your weekend. But here's what you won't hear in most reviews. This dehydrator has a surprisingly compact interior, and that could be a deal breaker depending on your batch size. So the real question is, does the COSORI live up to the hype, or is it just a shiny box with good marketing? In the next section, we'll break down the design and construction and show you why the way this machine is built might be the real reason people are ditching their old dehydrators. You're going to want to see this, especially if you've ever been burned by a noisy, underpowered model before. Quick heads up, the purchase links are in the description and pinned comment. These special deals are for a limited time only and could disappear at any moment. See one that fits what you're looking for? Click it, add it to your cart, and act fast. This might be your last chance to grab it at that price. At first glance, the COSORI Food Dehydrator looks like something you'd see in a professional test kitchen, not a clunky plastic gadget you hide in the pantry. The stainless steel housing is sleek, sturdy, and gives it a premium feel that immediately sets it apart from the typical all-plastic dehydrators you might be used to. It's the kind of appliance that doesn't scream gadget. It blends right into a modern kitchen, especially with its silver finish and clean digital interface. And here's something that really stands out. While it only has 6 trays, the interior drying space is actually larger than many 7-tray models. That's because each tray gives you a full 6.5 square feet of usable surface. They've optimized the spacing so that you can lay out bulkier items, like thick slices of pineapple or whole herb bunches, without everything overlapping or needing constant rotation. It's a compact footprint on the outside, but surprisingly roomy inside. Now, the trays themselves are stainless steel and dishwasher-safe, which is a big win for easy cleanup. They slide in and out smoothly, and there's enough vertical space between them to prevent crowding. No more jamming food in and hoping it doesn't stick together during drying. There's also a mesh screen and fruit leather tray included, which adds versatility if you're into drying sauces or very small bits like chopped herbs or ground meats. However, and this is important, the compact design does come with a trade-off. While the dehydrator looks like it could handle a large batch, users have noted that the trays are smaller than expected, especially compared to bulkier, stacked models. So, if you're planning to prep a week's worth of jerky or store seasonal produce in large quantities, you might find yourself doing it in multiple rounds. For small households or casual use, it's more than enough, but batch size is something to keep in mind. Still, from a design standpoint, COSORI made smart choices. The magnetic door closure feels satisfying and secure, the non-slip feet keep it stable on the counter, and the layout of the digital controls is intuitive and clean. Up next, let's dive into the real-world performance. From jerky to fruit roll-ups, how well does it actually dry? And does that 600-watt motor really make a difference? So let's talk performance, because design means nothing if your jerky turns out rubbery or your strawberries weld themselves to the tray. The COSORI Food Dehydrator runs on a 600-watt motor paired with a rear-mounted fan and upgraded airflow system. In real use, this setup means no need to rotate trays, even when you're running a full batch. That's a big deal if you've dealt with cheaper units that leave the top racks raw and the bottom ones overcooked. The airflow in this model feels well-balanced and efficient. You can dry everything from thin apple slices to chicken breast strips evenly, even in overnight cycles. The temperature control is precise, ranging from 95 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Whether you're making beef jerky that needs high heat, or gently drying herbs or yogurt at lower temps, it lets you dial in exactly what you need. The timer can be set for up to 48 hours, so long, slow dries are no problem. Plus, the presets, like the jerky setting, give you a reliable starting point if you're still learning the ropes. And it's impressively quiet, rated at under 48 decibels. That means you can actually run this thing while watching TV in the same room or while sleeping, which is perfect for long overnight dehydration without the background hum of a dishwasher on high. Now, what about actual results? Users consistently report crisp, flavorful fruit chips, evenly dried meats, and great results with homemade dog treats. You can even do creative batches like marinated mushrooms or homemade seasoning powders. Just grind the dried contents afterward. However, a few real-world limitations do pop up. The trays, while stainless steel, are still a bit smaller than they appear in photos. Some users felt slightly misled by the advertised larger-than-7 trays claim. Yes, the spacing helps, but the actual surface area per tray is closer to 9 by 10 inches. That means if you're trying to do large-scale jerky batches or preserve big harvests, you'll likely need to run several rounds. Still, for most home users, especially those focused on quality over quantity, the COSORI delivers. Next up, let's talk about usability and maintenance. How easy is it to live with this machine day to day? Now, let's get into the part that often makes or breaks a kitchen appliance. How easy is it to actually use this thing day in and day out? First off, the COSORI food dehydrator scores high on simplicity. The digital control panel is laid out in a way that makes sense. You've got temperature, time, and dedicated function buttons that respond quickly. You don't have to scroll through endless settings or guess what Mode 2 means. Even if you've never used a dehydrator before, you'll feel comfortable navigating this within minutes. And for those who love a visual guide, the included recipe book is a nice touch, offering ideas for everything from fruit roll-ups to protein-packed jerky. Now, one of the most appreciated features is just how quiet this machine runs. We're talking below 48 decibels, so it won't interrupt dinner conversations or Netflix marathons. For those living in apartments or open-plan homes, that low hum makes a huge difference, especially during overnight use. When it comes to cleanup, the all-stainless trays are dishwasher-safe, which is a blessing after sticky fruit batches or oily meats. The mesh screen and fruit roll sheet are also easy to rinse off, though some users recommend getting aftermarket silicone mats for even easier cleanup, especially if you're working with very small or delicate items like herbs or shredded cheese. But usability isn't flawless. One downside is that opening the door resets the time and temperature settings, which means you'll need to reprogram it if you check your food mid-cycle. That's not a deal breaker, but it can be frustrating, especially when dehydrating something sensitive like yogurt or jerky, where precise timing matters. Also, while the door has a magnetic closure that feels secure, it doesn't latch tightly like an oven door. That hasn't caused performance issues, but it's something to keep in mind if you're expecting a heavy-duty seal. On balance, day-to-day use is smooth, intuitive, and low maintenance, provided you're okay with a few quirks. Now in the final block, let's wrap it all up with a clear verdict and help you decide if this machine deserves a spot in your kitchen. At the end of the day, the COSORI food dehydrator isn't just a kitchen gadget. It's a tool for control, creativity, and cleaner eating. With stainless steel construction, ultra-quiet operation, and a powerful 600-watt engine, it delivers consistent, hassle-free results for everything from jerky and fruit to homemade pet treats. It's not perfect, tray size and control resets are worth noting, but if you value efficiency, reliability, and simplicity, this dehydrator punches well above its price point. So, is it worth it? For most home cooks, absolutely. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What's your favorite thing to dehydrate? And if you've got a kitchen hack, share it. We're all learning together.